Chapter 8. Matter. Get into. Write the names of the materials with which the following are made. You see a variety of things all around you. They are different in colors, sizes, structures, and of course, materials. Walls are made of bricks and cement. Books are made of paper. Utensils are made of steel. Furniture are made of wood. Buckets are made of plastic, and so on. In fact, the list seems to have no end. All these materials are different from one another, but all of these have two things in common. They have mass, they occupy space. So, the materials or substances that have mass and occupy some space are called matter. All living things, such as animals and plants, and all non living things, such as tables, cars, stones, air, and water, are made of matter. States of matter. Matter is made up of tiny particles that cannot be seen individually with the naked eye. Depending on the arrangement of particles in it, matter exists in three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Solid. Solids have a fixed shape and definite volume. Volume is the amount of space that an object occupies. The particles that make up a solid are tightly packed together and cannot move easily. This gives solid the following properties. A solid usually has a definite shape. A solid does not flow and cannot be poured into a container. They are not compressible because no free space is in between the particles. Pencil, chair, computer, car, etc. are the examples of solids. Pencil, chair, computer, car. Molecular arrangement in solids. Find and answer. What do you understand by the physical change of matter? Info mine. Atom is the smallest particle of an element that has the properties of that element. Liquid. Liquids have no fixed shape. The particles that make up a liquid are not very closely packed together and can move around more unlike solids. This gives liquid the following properties. Molecular arrangement in liquids. Liquids take the shape of the container in which they are poured, but they have fixed volume. Liquids can usually flow from one place to another and can be poured into containers. The molecules of liquids can move about and slide on one another. Liquids are not compressible because little free space is in between the particles. Water, milk, tea, etc. are the examples of liquids. Water, milk, tea, gas. Gases have no fixed shape and no fixed volume. The particles that make up a gas are very loosely packed together and can move around very freely. This gives gas the following properties. Molecular arrangement in gases. Gases occupy the entire container in which they are confined. Their small particles are well separated from each other with no regular pattern. They can move freely and slide on one another easily. Gases are compressible because there is lots of free space in between the particles. Air, cooking gas, perfumes, etc. are the examples of gases. Air, cooking gas, perfume. Change of state. Matter can change from one state to another. Water exists in all the three states of matter: liquid to solid. The process by which a liquid changes into solid on cooling is called freezing. When water, liquid, is cooled, it freezes and changes into ice, solid. In very cold places, the water in lakes freeze during winter to form ice. Info mine. Sometimes water dripping from buildings or from the leaves and branches of trees also freeze to form icicles. Solid to liquid. The process by which a solid changes into a liquid on heating is called melting. When ice solid is kept in the open or warmed over a stove in a pan, it melts into water, liquid. Butter kept in the refrigerator remains solid. However, if it is left out on a plate or if it is heated in a pan, it melts into liquid. When a candle is lit, the wax melts due to the heat of the flame. Info mine. The largest block of ice on Earth is in Antarctica. Antarctica has been covered with ice for over 40 million years. Liquid to gas. The process by which a liquid changes into a gas on heating is called vaporization. Water, liquid, changes into water vapor gas by vaporization. This can happen in two ways: evaporation and boiling. During evaporation, liquid changes into gas from the surface of the liquid at any temperature. Take some water in a bowl and keep it in bright sunlight. After a few hours, you will find that no water is left in the bowl. The water has evaporated into the air in the form of water vapor. During boiling, liquid changes into gas when it is heated up to a certain temperature called its boiling point. Gas bubbles begin to form inside the liquid and rise to the top. For example, when you heat water in a pan over the stove, you will see that after some time, the water begins to churn and bubbles rise to the surface of the water. This is because the water has begun to boil. The bubbles that are formed contain water vapor. Gas to liquid. The process by which a gas changes into liquid on cooling is called condensation. When water vapor gas is cooled, it condenses and changes into water, liquid. Have you observed droplets of water forming on the surface of a glass of cold milk or juice? These droplets form because water vapor in the air cools down when it comes in contact with the cold surface of the glass. It then condenses to form water. The dew that forms on leaves and flowers in the morning is also formed by the condensation of water vapor in the air. Up for review. State true or false for the following statements. Number 1. Matter exists in three states. Number 2. A liquid has a definite shape. Number 3. Milk is an example of solid. Number 4. Gases are compressible. Number 5. The bubbles formed during boiling contain water. Properties of matter. A property tells us how a material looks, feels, or acts. Different types of materials have different properties. Let us get to know about some properties of matter. Number 1. Roughness. Materials can be rough or smooth. Some materials are smooth or have flat surfaces, while some materials are rough or have ridges on their surfaces. We can feel the roughness or smoothness of the matter by simply touching it. Smooth, rough. Number 2. Luster. The shine of a material is its luster. The pure metals always shine and possess luster. We can identify the level of purity of metal by its luster. Number 3. Transparency. The materials through which light can pass are called transparent materials, and the property is known as transparency. Things that allow light to pass through them are called transparent like glass. Things that allow little light to pass through them are called translucent, like net curtains, and the things that do not allow light to pass through them are called opaque, like wood. Transparent, translucent, opaque. Number 4. Solubility. Some materials that dissolve in water are said to be soluble, and materials that do not dissolve in water are said to be insoluble. The substance that can be dissolved is called solute. The substance in which solute is dissolved is called solvent. The substance which we get after dissolving solute in solvents is called solution. Solute plus solvent gives solution. Number 5. Flotation. Some materials float on water, while some materials sink down in water. This property is called flotation. Generally, materials such as wood, leaves, and feathers float on water, whereas rocks and metals sink in water. Leaf floats on water. Rock sinks in water. Take a look. Matter, states of matter. Solid, definite shape, does not flow, definite volume. Liquid, no definite shape, can flow, definite volume. Gas, no definite shape or volume, completely fills its container, can flow easily. Properties: roughness, luster, transparency, solubility, flotation.